Buenas tardes. Welcome back to Hitting the Apex here on the Five Reasons Sports Network. I don't know why I said Buenas tardes, but
I was
whatever.
about to say.
Um, um,
What time zone are you in?
Buenas tardes is, whatever.
Buenas
Buenas
noches.
Yeah, it's
noches.
nachos.
I don't know, whatever. It's been a long day. Moni, Vish, how are you guys doing
Well, I guess
today?
as we get started, we should
We are
wish
we
our
are
wish
gonna
our
wish him a happy
wish our
anniversary.
man
Yes, happy
Evan here
wedding
happy
anniversary.
anniversary.
Aw.
Yeah, good
Happy
stuff, man.
anniversary, Evan.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
But you're all just going to Orlando, I guess.
Yeah, everybody's going to Orlando. Before we get it going, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor, and that is You Break Will Fix. Let them know. You Break Will Fix repairs damaged wheels from curb rash, cracks, or bends, all under one roof with in-house powder coating, CNC machining, and polishing. They offer new custom wheels and tires from your favorite brands such as Vossen, Forgiato, Fuel Off-Road, and more. They now even offer no credit check financing up to $5,000 for a new set of wheels. Fast turnaround times on all repairs, and they even provide loaner wheels in many cases. You Break Will Fix is your total automotive wheel solution located in North Miami, right off of Biscayne Boulevard in Northeast 146th Street. Check out some of their great work across all social media from Instagram and Facebook at You Break Will Fix. That's the letter U Break Wheel Fix, or online at youbreakwheelfix.com. You can even give them a call 305-748-0112. That's 305-748-0112, and schedule your appointment today. You Break Wheel Fix, changing the way you see wheels.
I can't not laugh at this every time I see it now. They need to throw another review up here.
What is? Oh, hold on.
My wife.
Yeah, this dude who blamed his wife because he messed his rims up.
I mean, it's the perfect cover up, bro.
My wife did that.
Perfect cover up, you know. You know, it's funny. My mom. Speaking of just women, right, of driving and stuff. This is funny though, because my mom, she is hilarious. Every time I go to her house and I see like a dent on her car, I'm like, "What did you do to your car this time?" She goes, "I don't know, man. The pole came out of nowhere." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what you say every time." At some point, you know, you got to realize that you have a backup camera, you got side mirrors. And she's like, "No, I really, I don't know where those walls come from." It's every single time.
Women, am I right? Women.
I'll tell you, man.
Women.
You know, unless you're an F1 or something, you know, not great drivers, bro. Apparently, you know,
I mean,
not great drivers. It is what it
Latifi
is.
is a male, so there goes your whole argument.
No,
Yeah.
it's no. We're talking about, you know. I mean, every once in a while you get a person like Latifi. Well, you get a lot of Latifis. There's a lot of Latifis out there. I have to
like. There's no way Latifi could park your mom's car either. So I don't think
absolutely not. I absolutely not. Remember, they don't know really how to park, anyways, right? They know one speed only. And Latifi, I'm not sure. Latifi. Put it this way, Latifi would be the guy that, you know, be driving down the street and be like, I don't know what's going on with the car today, man, but it's not working properly. And I'm like, dude, you know, this is what you do for a living. You should know what the hell you're talking about. But anyways, I digress. What's up, Jack? Hey, fellas and ladies. Hello. Hey, ladies too. Ladies and there it is. Come on, get it together, Jack. So the USGP, right, setting some records, man, for attendance, which was great. She graduated from George Russell School of Defense.
I mean, the man is coming through for my entertainment value. I'll give you that.
I love it.
We'll talk about this in a minute, but man,
nothing better than Jack with the jokes. Yeah, the United States Grand Prix setting some records, huh, Vish? Moni, they had over 440,000 people in attendance this weekend. Is that the largest crowd for F1 in the history of F1? Mm-hmm. But let's not have F1 in the United States. Let's not have F1 in America. I mean, what for, right? Sure. Unbelievable. That's awesome. I'm super excited about that.
It's almost like this country is filled with a lot of immigrants with backgrounds from other countries, and hosting international events here might be successful. I'm just throwing it out there.
Maybe. Just a little bit.
Just maybe, you know, having a diverse population with people from all over the world in a country, hosting international events there.
Who
Could,
knows?
could work. Could work.
It could. What's your take on it, Moni? How did you like the USGP?
I loved it. Personally, I think the USGP is such a fun race. I feel that the atmosphere also contributes a lot in Austin. I really enjoyed it. Of course, this who had to ruin the race for someone else at the very beginning. So, but I'll get into it a little later. That was a little sad, but overall, I don't know. I feel like there was a little bit of everything for the race in terms of literally just racing, and then we had a little bit of celebrity appearances and stuff that also they ruffled some feathers over the weekend. So overall, I think just like Miami, sporting events in the US are always a massive success, and I think the USGP was definitely a success this weekend.
Yeah, Vish. First of all, I don't know how George Russell ended up in P5, but anyways,
Because they only gave him a 5-second penalty for basically knocking signs out of the race.
for doing that.
Yeah.
That's so sad. Yeah, what's your take on this race, Vish? Did you enjoy watching? I'll be honest with you, I totally miscalculated the time, and I started watching during lap like 15 or 20, so I completely missed the whole sides debacle. I don't know what the hell happened to me. I thought the race started later for some reason. It was
Well,
a
the
lot.
qualifying was much later. They're usually about the same
That's
time.
what it was, right? Yeah, I think that's what happened to me. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like 25 minutes before the race, I was like, "What time is the race?" I was like aiming for like 5 p.m.
Yeah, so was I.
All right, I'm going to say something potentially controversial here. These races in our time zones suck. I'm used to waking up in the morning and just watching this thing.
I know.
And now I'm like, wait, but there's football on too, and what the hell is going? I can't do it. I can't do it. I need this in the morning. I need it at like 9 a.m. with my coffee. Like I don't know what to do with this in the afternoon.
Isn't that crazy that we're like clamoring for like later races, and then all of a sudden our later race comes and we're like, screw that.
I got too much stuff going on in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Like I don't have time for this.
It's so funny, man. That is so funny.
Carving out like 2 hours in the afternoon is not nearly as easy as carving it out in the morning.
It's much easier at 8 a.m. Absolutely. Well, here are the race results, right? You've got Max in P1. Shocker there. I think the nice outcome was Mr. Lewis Hamilton in P2. There was an opportunity for him to take take P1, but we'll talk about that a little bit after. But it's P1 for Max, P2 for Lewis Hamilton, and then Ferrari and Charles Leclerc end up in P3. Then you've got Sergio Perez in fourth, along with George Russell in fifth. Listen, George Russell and Checo have switched places with me.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. I used to hear a lot of gagging over here and throwing up when Checo's name was thrown around.
Now it's like George Russell.
I've been consistent on my George Russell opinion.
Yeah, you have. True. This is true. I mean, listen, my surprise came to fruition. Right, you got Sebastian Vettel. I had him finishing in the top 7. There he is, baby. There he is.
By the way, we're gonna talk about the flag waving, but one of the reasons it was so appalling is that overtake Vettel made right on the last corner was insane. He drove parallel to Magnussen for like 3 or 4 corners, and then out-dragged him into like the next to last corner. It was a great pass.
Little vintage Vettel there, huh?
Yeah, and then so he does that. They get onto the start-finish straight. They're zipping across, like they cut to Tim Cook.
Oh my God, yes.
And he's just, it was like,
you know what? What the hell? Let's show Tim Cook right now. This is what they cut to.
Yeah, if you haven't seen this,
Vettel and Magnussen were battling it out.
He frankly looks like a man holding his let's just call it member that can't get an erection. That's what he looks like.
I'm suffering.
I
mean, is there a better description than that? That is exactly what he looks like.
Can you feel the excitement there? Oh,
that is the most depressing thing I've ever seen.
It's like,
and the reason Vettel actually ended up in 7th was because Alonso had a penalty as well, which we'll talk about. He had a 5-second penalty.
You know what Tim Cook reminds me of? You guys remember the movie Up, right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, a viejito.
No, ni siquiera.
No.
You know who?
Who?
So when the old guy, he refuses to give up his home, right? So they can like build what is it, like a skyscraper or something, because he's like in the middle of the city, algo así. And he refuses to give up his home. I don't know if you guys remember, like the boss from like the developing company, like the building company. It's like this
Oh, I
like
don't remember.
angry white man with sunglasses, and he's wearing a suit, and he literally has the same facial expression as Tim Cook waving the checkered flag. Like
That's
it's
funny.
I'm gonna find a picture, and it's Tim Cook. Like he literally left the Up movie to go wave the checkered flag.
He didn't look very excited doing it.
Yeah, whoa.
I mean that's one way to put it, right?
What is going on there?
What the hell was that all about, man? Yeah, I mean,
You're,
show a little emotion there, big guy.
you're waving the checkered flag at an F1 race, and it looks like I mean I don't know what he was.
I mean,
It's hard to look that bored when you're doing that activity.
yeah, no kidding. I would be like a madman.
Well, I think even when they get celebrities to do it, they still like understand it's a big deal and get into it. Like I don't know what the hell he was doing.
You should send it to
Yeah, send it to me. I'll share it.
send it to the WhatsApp chat there.
Yeah, and
Okay,
I'll open it up.
Find it.
Oh man. Anyways, finishing it up. I don't think Moni sent it out yet, but finishing up the top 10 was Vettel in 7th, Kevin Magnussen in 8th, with Yuki Tsunoda in 9th, Esteban Ocon in 10th. How big was the penalty for?
It was so
Alonso.
because it was after the race and because it should have been a black and orange flag. It's a 10-second stop go penalty, which since it's after the race, I believe they added 30 seconds.
Manda.
And that's why he ended up down here.
He is in 15th. Wow.
Yep. Yeah, because he would have been up here.
He would have been in 7th, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Some others that raced well. I think they gave Sebastian Vettel
driver of the day.
Driver of the day. So yeah, I mean for Aston Martin P7, pretty good finish for them there. And and then you've got strong finish by Yuki as well, finishing in the top 10. The Alpines were a little disappointing this time around, huh? I mean, I guess technically Alonso would have been in the top 7. So
yeah, despite
yeah,
I mean Stroll cutting him off, and I can't believe Alonso was able to stay in the race after that. But
unbelievable,
going airborne off the back of Stroll, and somehow his car remained intact.
Yep.
It was a perfect race for like Latifi spinning, Stroll causing an accident, Russell punting signs off. Like everyone showed up and brought their A game.
Yeah, they did. So I know that they gave it to Vettel, but who's your driver that they Vish?
I would probably agree with Vettel. I think Hamilton is close there. And in fact, the one thing I would say, on the Mercedes side, obviously the Red Bull is faster, and they got lucky that Max's pit stop got screwed up, and they got like 20 seconds. Otherwise, he's wins this race by 30 seconds like every other race. But God, I wonder if they're thinking they should have put the mediums on. Everyone else did. They went with the hards. The mediums did not fade. So
no, they didn't. But I mean, Lewis was getting into the groove with those hards. I know that they were talking about that for a little bit, but they were taking a while for him to.
Yeah, I just wonder if he had any more pace in the car. Probably not. It probably does not matter. But
I think it was cool to see. Although it was inevitable, obviously when Max passed Leclerc, but it was a nice little battle there, a little bit with the DRS and kind of the back and forth for that one lap. That was kind of cool to watch as well. So there were some things that were nice to see. Just at the end of the day, there he is.
Oh, that's Tim Cook.
How did you retain that? How long was this dude in the movie?
I'm not even exaggerating. A good probably like 2.5 minutes. And in between two scenes, like each scene, like
it's crazy how you remember that.
Yeah, I don't know how you remembered that, but it was an apt description.
Yeah, I told you guys.
Very cool.
I told you.
That's so cool. That's so funny, man. By the way, Jack says here, that his left front tire winglet came detached during the race. So Haas is protesting that, huh?
And he's joking on the
I know.
protest part,
Right,
but
yeah, I know.
the whole
Haas protest incoming. That would be pretty funny.
yeah. Well, we're gonna talk about the Haas protest and
Yep. That's a the worst flag where you could have tied the flag to an oscillating
Hey,
floor.
bro, where does Jack get this from? I don't get it.
He's just full of surprises, man. This
I
guy.
love it.
That's awesome. Who's your driver of the day, Moni?
So I was a bit stuck between Vettel and Hamilton, but I had to give it to Hamilton. I enjoyed his drive on Sunday. I think that he did have an issue with his brakes. No, there was something that was kind of bothering him about his brakes, but he kind of just pulled through it. You guys can remind me if I'm wrong, but and I thought he was gonna clinch P1. I really did think he was gonna make it. So just because I saw him like so into it and just super like tunnel vision like the whole time, I'm gonna go with Louis Hamilton.
Good.
our boy Gabe also thought he was gonna win it and started tweeting about whoever back in the factory does the victory stuff. I was like, dude, you're gonna jinx it. And then
Yeah, so it was
then Max ran him down and passed him. He's like, damn it.
so it was Gabe. Thanks, Gabe.
Let me see.
So it was Gabe's fault. It was Gabe's fault that Lewis didn't get his win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Vettel. I was excited about Vettel. See the way he drove there, especially in that last lap. Kind of not just giving up and saying whatever. Who cares? Who gives a crap? Right? I'm done anyways. No, he fought. He battled with Magnussen, and it was a nice overtake there at the end.
To your point, between that, the whole Leclerc Max back and forth, there was a lot of side by side, like really good quality driving in this race without touching, and then there was Russell.
Right. Well, disappointment of the day is definitely for me is George Russell.
So is it disappointing when they meet your expectations?
Touché.
What do we
Touché.
mean by disappointing? Like this man is proving me right on a weekly basis. The only thing I got right about the entire season or even any single prediction was that he sucks. And he is coming right in for me there.
Yeah. And I can't say disappointment for Sainz. Poor guy. I mean, what am I gonna what are you gonna do with that? But
more seriously, he probably would have won this race because with Max's issues in the pit stop, Sainz was going to be up there 1-2 with him.
Right.
The Ferrari was definitely slower, but with all the safety cars, any gap he would have closed, he definitely would have been in front of Hamilton. Now we can't rule out whatever calamity Ferrari was going to do strategy-wise.
Correct.
But if they just played it straight,
they played it straight because they only had one car. So
yeah, but if they kept it straight, like he probably wins this race if Russell didn't wipe him out in the first corner.
Yeah.
So I'll go with Sainz for my disappointment because like he could have won. Not his fault, but disappointed that he didn't get to drive.
Fair enough. By the way, in other news, Red Bull also did clinch the constructors championship as well after their strong finish at the top four. So 1 and 4, P1 and P4 for Red Bull kind of clinched their constructors there as well. So not surprising, and of course also Max kind of ties the record right for most wins in a season with Schumacher and I think who was the other one? I don't remember who it was, but
I think it was Vettel.
Might have been, it was Vettel.
One of those years in Red Bull, he won every race.
It was Schumacher and Vettel. Correct. You're right. So,
but as they point out in the broadcast, they race so many races now.
It's oh my god,
we were 23 races or whatever. It's like crazy.
We were talking about how exhausting it is.
Yeah, just to talk about it.
It really is.
There was one year where I think Vettel won all but 1 or 2 races. It was crazy, but there was only 15. So
right. Yeah, it's a money grab now, man. It definitely is. Moving along here a little bit, as we said, constructors obviously that's the overall world championship. It's still a tight race between Leclerc and Perez, right? Only 2 points separating the two right now, and I think everybody else at this point is kind of just fighting. I know Russell and Sainz are fighting there for 4 and 5 as well. And even Hamilton is fighting there. He's between 4 and 6. That battle is still ongoing because Hamilton's only 4 points behind Sainz. So anything could kind of happen between those 2 or 3 guys right there.
Yeah, and you kind of see. I mean, if and there are monetary considerations depending on
Right.
where you finish in the order for the drivers as well, and you can see how much Russell punting signs off affected all of these standings.
Yep, big time. Because I think, like you said, if Sainz stays in it and
Yeah.
let's say he finishes in the top 3, this is a little bit of
Yeah.
a different.
Yeah, no, he'll be ahead of Russell. And if they had, well, we can talk about the kind of only giving him a 5-second penalty for essentially not even trying to make the corner.
Right.
I mean, he was going straight. Like, where was he going?
It's a shame.
If he didn't hit sides, he was going to drive straight across the track.
That's terrible.
So if someone getting a 5-second penalty for that, that's a recoverable penalty.
Right.
Kind of messed up. Alonso got a 30-second penalty for Mir falling off.
For Mir, that's ridiculous. I was just thinking about that.
Russell gets a 5-second penalty for knocking someone out of the race.
I was just thinking about that. Like, it's really not his fault. I mean, the damn side mirror fell off. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Well, I think we're gonna discuss that in a bit. But
Red Bull Racing Constructors Championship, they're up by almost 200 points there, with Ferrari in P2, Mercedes behind them in third place. But there's a little bit of a gap there between Ferrari and Mercedes. Not a lot. It's about 50 points. But I think that right now, if Ferrari just keeps, doing what they're doing right now, I think that it's going to stay this way right here. Alpine way behind.
I mean, if Russell can keep knocking signs out in the first corner, they can make that gap.
Yeah, true. This is true. Right.
If they keep finishing second and sixth, then it's DNF for signs. They can cut some of that point. Yeah.
They can do it. So let's talk about this before we get into some Williams news. Just kind of piggybacking off of what we were talking about with Alonso and his post-race penalty for the unsafe car with the loose mirror. Kind of crap, right? I think it's kind of a load of crap that they're actually, and then what Haas actually did protest.
Right. So the kind
of that is real. That is real.
Yeah. The history on that is, I believe it's been Magnussen both times, but multiple times this year, Haas has had what they felt was minor damage, and the FIA black and orange flagged them, which means you have to go into the pit and fix whatever's broken, which is essentially a stop-go penalty. You have to stop, fix it, and then go. So that's basically giving them a de facto stop-go penalty. Now, Alonso, after the Stroll incident, his mirror was shaking the entire time after that. Like, every time they went to the onboard, it was moving all over the place. Eventually, it flew off.
Right.
So after the race, Haas protested and said, "You've been flagging us all year for the same thing. How come he was allowed to drive like that and finish without having to fix it?" Because it allowed him to finish 7th instead of probably out of the points. And the FIA sided with them, so they just gave a 30-second penalty to Alonso, basically through it. So basically, we should have done this during the race. We didn't. Therefore, we're going to penalize you after the race.
What's your take on it, Moni? The whole penalty, was it a little too much for what happened?
Yeah, I think so. But at the end of the day, we have to remember that in most pressing scenarios, the FIA has shown to be quite a bit incompetent, right? So I'm not saying that they made the right choice. Does it surprise me? Not necessarily. But I did think they went a little bit overboard with the penalty on Alonso. I really do think so.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, right? Like should have fixed it or whatever, but I don't know, 30-second penalty seems kind of hard.
Well, I mean, I think the rationale for the 30-second penalty is if they had actually done their job correctly during the race, it would have essentially been that.
Right.
Now the problem is,
I get that.
The whole reason that rule exists is for safety. You don't want parts flying off of cars.
I mean, and that's a significant part that could get caught in a wheel.
So they let the safety issue actually happen. So it also was not safe. So they did both things. They gave him a penalty and they left the track unsafe.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying about the FIA.
Like, what is that? Like, so they basically did a safety penalty against him, but they didn't actually make it safe. They waited till the race was over.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. The FIA. Kind of moving on to some pretty big news. Something that we kind of discussed already at some point is the Logan Sargent news to Williams. Is he? I believe, did he get his super license?
No,
No.
he still needs to
He needs
finish
to
sixth.
in the next race, right?
Well, he needs to finish sixth overall.
Oh,
in
overall,
GP2.
gotcha. My bad.
He is, I think, second or third right now.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So what's actually been happening is he was going to have to finish fifth. That's why he's been doing the FP1s these days. You get a few points for those on your license, so he's been attacking them.
And he's going to do some more apparently.
Yeah,
right?
that's going to allow him to only have to finish sixth instead of fifth.
Gotcha. Like, I'm excited about having an American driver on the grid. I mean, it's been a long time coming, right? It's been a while, and
yeah, it's been I think 6-7 years.
Yeah, I'm excited because he's a talented driver. Obviously, not the best car right now, but I think that if he can show that he can, be competitive in the Williams, then you're going to see a lot more, some more teams kind of vying for his services later on down the road, whether it be an Alpine or even a bigger team like a Mercedes or a Red Bull or something like that later on. I mean, how old is he? He's 24, 25 years old, right? So he's still kind of young.
No, I think he's like 20.
Yeah, I thought he was younger than that.
He might be younger, right? Yeah. Okay, so he's younger, which is even better, right? So he's got a long career ahead of him if he continues to stay competitive and he does some nice things with the Williams.
He's 21.
And as long as he doesn't crash every race.
As long as he's not Latifi, I think he should be fine.
No, so I think this is going to be interesting because there have been several drivers that have benefited from, they look good in the Williams because Latifi's been in the other car.
Right. Well, yeah.
That's exactly.
Now it's the other way around, right? Now, Albon's a good driver.
Yeah, so he'll get a chance to prove himself, though. If he beats Albon, that's legitimate, where everyone's been beating Latifi, whoever they put in that other seat.
This is true.
De Vries, like out of the hospitality area of Austin Martin, go drive that car. He beat Latifi.
De Vries did it with his eyes closed, right?
Yeah, so
that's why De Vries is now. That's why he's an AlphaTauri driver now, right? So there you go. I mean, your take on the fact that this is an American driver on the grid next year. What does that do for the American spectator, right? I mean, obviously we saw some huge numbers in Austin this past week. I mean, listen, a little bit of that was Logan Sargent racing and practicing in FP1. He was there, so he got a little bit of attention. What's great about Logan Sargent as well is that he's a local kid, right? From Fort Lauderdale native. That's really cool to have kind of your, for the fans down here, especially when the Miami GP comes around. So I think it does, loads of really good things for the American fan. But for the world fan, I think that he's, for the international fan, I think here's my take. My take is that, a lot of times the international fans don't take the Americans serious, right? When it comes to these type of things, right? When it comes to sport, driver, the circuits, and we just slapped everybody in the face right now, putting 440,000 fans at an event. That's an international event that's not known as an American event, right? This is more of a European event. We just said big middle finger to Europe. We're going to have 440,000 fans out there. So now bringing in an American guy, I think he's got a little bit of adversity he's going to have to fight with, especially he's in a European team that's based in England, right? So, I mean, this is going to be a little bit of adversity because I think that he's going to have to deal with, not the nicest fans come. And this is just my take, right? I just feel like this is going to happen for him. Obviously, he's going to get a great ovation, a great support down here in America and in Mexico and Canada and all that stuff because it is what it is. But I think that in Europe he's going to have a hard time winning over the fans anywhere else that's outside of America. What's your thoughts on that? Go ahead, Moni. You can start.
Me? Okay. I agree. Personally, I'm really excited. Listen, I'm gonna give you a good example. As someone who's not from the United States, I wasn't born here, and I came here when I was much older. But I've been living in Florida since I moved to the States, right? And when I read that Sergeant White uh, will likely end up racing for Williams, and he's a Florida native, it made me really excited. And I'm not even a Floridian. I'm not.
Yes, you are. You are a Floridian.
I mean, because
I
of
mean,
my
you're
job.
so obviously from Miami.
Yeah. Hey, you kidding
Yes,
me? Hey, get it right. She's from Doral, buddy. That's a whole different world over there. Okay.
Mm,
All right.
She
All right.
lives in Doral, but she's not Venezuelan. So you gotta.
This
That's
is true.
true.
This is true. This is true.
He's getting really important pieces of information.
It is very important. I agree.
What was I gonna say? And it made me very excited, like to have someone, representing the United States. Of course, it's not the first North American, but he's the, of the first one in a couple of years from the United States that's going to be racing, right? So, I definitely feel that there's a bit of I don't know, I don't know if a wall is the right word, but maybe there's a bit of a barrier that he's going to have to break through, Jazz, as you mentioned. And I don't know if that's because you and I are apprehensive about what Europeans might think of people from the US, right? I don't know if it's just us being apprehensive and annoying, but I do see that as well. And I mean, he's really young. He's like only 21, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he's super young, and if he ends up driving for Williams, which it looks like he will, he has, a fairly strong teammate. So I think that it's going to be a very good stepping stone for him as he starts racing for Formula One. And as you say, it's definitely going to, most Americans are already pretty hyped when it comes to Formula One. Now that there's going to be someone from the United States racing in Formula One, I just think it adds a little bit more spice when it comes to your average Formula One United States fan. So I definitely see it as a really fun thing, as a huge thing. It makes me really excited, and it makes me really hyped to keep watching Formula One.
Vish, who was the last American driver?
It was Rossi.
Oh, that's right, Rossi. Okay. Kind of your thoughts on what we mentioned already, and what we can expect from a guy like Logan Sargent in 2023 in that Williams car.
Yeah, well, I mean, as Moni says, he's young, so it's probably going to take him a bit to get acclimated. His teammate's been in Formula One for a while, so there's going to be an adjustment. So I wouldn't expect him to just beat Albon out of the gates there. But no, it definitely, as Moni said, gives us, we're going to be paying attention to the Williams, and not in the context of when it's going to cause a safety car, right? We're going to actually be watching the back of the grid to see
what we're going to be rooting for him, right?
Yeah. So that's going to, and we're not the only ones. That'll generate a lot of interest. He is going to deal with some anti-Americanism. That's definitely going to happen. He'll spell tire with an I, and everyone's going to flip out like that's actually a problem. This is what happens.
Right.
Right.
So
I mean, this is
good point.
This is I don't know if you guys watch a lot of soccer, but when Bob Bradley, who's an American, was the U.S. national team coach, went to England, and he was coaching a Premier League team, and he talked about, we have a road game coming up. And their media lost their minds because in England they call it an away game.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
they called it a road game. They're like, oh my God, these Yanks.
Be careful when you say we have a tough schedule. As opposed to saying a schedule. All right.
Oh, no, they don't even do that. You have to say fixture list.
A fixture. Well,
oh my
I don't even know if I can
exactly.
Even say
that. So hopefully he takes more of Zach Brown's attitude of, who the F are you? I don't care.
Yeah.
Because if you recall, Zach Brown went through a lot of that too. He took over. Again, this is a little bit of F1 history, but McLaren was run for decades by Ron Dennis, who is one of those old school British F1 bosses that was part of the furniture in F1 until they stole Ferrari's plans and he had to go away. So Zach Brown took over for him as an American running a famous British motorsports brand. and he was just like 2 middle fingers in the air. We're gonna do this.
You know, I always think
my
about
way.
that. I always think about that. I'm
Yeah,
like,
and
Zach
so
Brown running a British team.
yeah, and now he's accepted because he's successful there, and that
Right.
Logan Sargent just needs to do things his ways. He's not British,
I think
so don't show up and be don't be British, be American.
The American, and I think that they'll start respecting that. I think you're absolutely right. I think at the end of the day, if you drive well, that's all that really is going to matter, right? If you drive well and you're competitive, then and you're not Nicholas Latifi, I hate to say it, then I think you're going to be fine. What does he say here? The narrative on how well he does, right? Exactly. Oh, look, he said exactly what I was saying. So I agree. I'm excited to watch him in 2023, and I wish there was only like 7.
So he is really talented. He should not Latifi it,
right?
But F1 cars aren't like anything else you drive, so sometimes people just can't do it.
Can we all agree that if they cut the schedule by like 6 races, we'd be okay with it? Like if the season ended last week.
So the only reason I paused is like, which 6 races?
I know.
What are they going to get rid of?
I mean, if they get rid of Monaco, nobody's going to complain, I don't think, except the Monegaskins.
Well, no, all the drivers will complain because that's where they go and they party on yachts all weekend.
That's true.
But is it actually good for racing? No.
Yeah, exactly. That would be tough. I would love to do that for one show. Is kind of see what races we could do.
Maybe that sounds like a good off-season show.
That is a good off-season. Yep,
yeah, we'll figure out which races we want to get rid of,
and then we'll go appeal to the F1.
Of course, none of us will pick the one that I think everyone else, the entire world, would pick, which is Miami.
Yeah, yeah. There's
driving
no
around the stadium with a fake dock. What is this crap?
Did you see what Elizabeth posted on Twitter that she touched real water in Austin at the Circuit of the Americas?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this water feels kind of different than the one in Miami.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have beef if she ever comes back on the show because.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sorry, but Miami touched rock bottom with that fake marina crap.
Hold on a second. It was a dry dock.
Perdón. Sorry.
You know what? A dry dock is a dry dock.
I read the press release, and we were told to call it a dry dock.
Dry dock. I'm so sorry. They touched rock bottom with the dry dock, in my opinion.
Yeah, dry.
What was that? Seriously? No.
That was.
I don't even. So here's the thing. It's stupid, but why does this matter?
It's also not that deep.
Well, why does it matter? Is because it's all about optics, man.
So, but they're putting boats out there.
Yeah.
Does it matter if they paint the ground blue or?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you put boats out there, you gotta have water.
Yeah, you gotta have water. Just water. Just don't put them out there. Just don't put the boats.
Although that's so Hialeah of them to put boats out there and no water.
I mean, it's not far from Hialeah.
You know? It's so Hialeah of them. Shout out to my people in Hialeah.
I mean, that should be the Miami GP. Try to navigate the streets there.
They should
not giving you a map. You got to figure out why the numbers changed. Like,
look at what Jack said. You should call it the Hialeah.
All right, GP those idiots actually credentialed me, so I'm going down with that shit. I still don't know why, man. But.
If any of those idiots are listening, we may not get credentialed next year.
I mean, I think that's a foregone. I don't even know if I'd go. It was a lot of work, man. These journalists that are real actually do work.
It's so much nicer to watch her from the stands.
I know. Jazz had like a great time coming out of that weekend. Just like, that was so great. I'm like, I'm so tired.
Although I must admit, I don't know if I'd go all 3 days this year again. But anyways, that's.
But anyway, yeah. No, I mean so. Look, it's stupid, but I don't think it's the big deal everyone's making it out to be.
It was just funny. Look, it's just another way for everybody to make fun of them. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. But they should put. Look, if you want to do that, you might as well just put like a racetrack out there, a dog racetrack, and call it the Hialeah.
Didn't Calder used to be out there?
Calder is
still
right
there?
next door. Yes, right next door.
There you go. There's already a dog track. Don't even need to.
We definitely spent too much time at a dry dock right now. Real quick, last but not least, this is just quick news because nothing yet is absolutely, not absolutely final, but it is pretty final. It's just we don't know much aside from the fact that Audi and Sauber have agreed to come into Formula One. once again with Sauber is now going to use Audi powertrain engines coming up in 2026. Any other news that we really need to know about this right now? I mean, except for the fact that, you know, I mean, it's a nice move. I think that it's good for Sauber for Audi to come back in, and I don't know if there's anything else to really add to that.
Well, I think the only kind of thing here is that's a lot of money, and that's a lot of money coming into a team that does not have a lot of money right now,
Right.
and it's a dedicated engine supplier.
Who's okay? So Sauber is with who right
It's
now?
Alfa Romeo.
That's right.
So yeah, they've always been. So the team was originally Sauber because Peter Sauber is the team principal. They just have a marketing agreement with Alfa Romeo. It's not an Alfa Romeo car. It's just called that.
Yeah, it's a Ferrari engine, right?
It's a Ferrari engine, but it's just still the Sauber developed car. It's the same.
It's just
group
basically
development.
naming
It's
rights
branding.
from Alfa Romeo.
It's branding. Yeah, it's branding. So what we're gonna have now is another major engine manufacturer with a team. So when we were talking about, who's going to go into the Alpine seat, one of the things we were talking about is actually this is one of three, now four, because Red Bull's whatever engine, 4 teams on the grid that actually have their own engine that in theory, if they develop it well, can win championships.
Right.
Because that engine goes with that car and you build that package together. So now there's another one of those.
So now instead of it being not Ferrari, instead of it being Alfa Romeo, it'll be Sauber Audi now.
It'll probably just be called Audi or whatever you want to call it. But it'll have Audi engines. So they'll have the dedicated, when they use the term works team, that means the engine manufacturer, and they build the car together.
Right. Okay.
So Mercedes does that today, Ferrari does it today, Red Bull does it, and Alpine does it.
Gotcha.
Whereas like McLaren spends a bunch of money on their car, but they get a Mercedes engine delivered, they have to fit in there.
Right.
So it puts you at a disadvantage.
Alpine is just naming rights for the Renault also.
Yeah, but it's the same. Alpine is a Renault brand.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's not even naming rights. That is a Renault car brand.
Gotcha. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that makes
sense. So that's the big deal. Is another major player on the.
That field. Is really cool. Then that is really cool.
Yeah, and that's now getting to have that's half the grid. So.
Because now you're talking about good drivers are going to want to drive that car because, like you said, it's their own engine. They get to do whatever the hell they want. They don't have to wait for someone to deliver the engine to them, and that's it. No, they get to develop their own engines, and like you mentioned, it's an opportunity for them to win.
This obviously didn't work for them, but when McLaren partnered with Honda originally, that was the reason they did that. They had Mercedes engines for a year, and actually Mercedes owned, I think, 48% of McLaren for a while. That was the Mercedes team. So it was McLaren and Mercedes, and that's when McLaren was winning championships. When Mercedes spun off their own company, they're like, we can't compete with that. Right. We need a dedicated engine. So they partnered with Honda. Honda as their engine supplier, and obviously it didn't work. Then Honda went to Red Bull and won championships there because perfect McLaren usage there. But that was the rationale. They're like, you can't win if you're not a works team.
This is a stupid.
And now Sauber Audi is going to be a works team. So
this is probably a stupid question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. And I know the answer to this, but I can't remember for the love of me. McLaren makes amazing cars, right? Their actual car is amazing.
Yeah,
they're fast, they're strong, they're powerful. Yada 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 yada. Why not use? I know McLaren is really the name again, but. Why not use a McLaren engine? Why has McLaren not jumped into the F1 world where they are developing their own engines? Because in my mind, if you put a McLaren engine in there and you develop it, I mean, you're going to kick ass. Why not do something like that?
So
what's the whole? How does that work?
Well, so the reason that allegedly, this obviously doesn't really apply to Ferrari, but the reason that engine manufacturers get into F1 is it allows them to accelerate their research for road-relevant cars. And the McLaren supercar engine is so far detached from anything you do in F1. An F1 engine is actually not – it's now, what is it, a 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder turbo hybrid, whatever. Like, it is exactly – like, the reason it's that instead it used to be like a V12 and just all – is because they're like, this needs to be relevant.
Right.
So Audi is going to develop technology to make that as efficient as possible, and that's going to end up in your Volkswagen.
Gotcha.
And
just like the Mercedes, right?
Yeah. That's why the Mercedes hybrid road cars are so advanced. It's
Right.
building off of this engine. Now, again, Ferrari does it for Ferrari, right? And so McLaren's never. They were with Honda. Forget who they were with before Honda, but they've never.
It just
done
doesn't
that.
doesn't make sense because they don't have that type of inventory where there's a million people driving.
Right, and so to Jack's point, that's just way too much money to do that when you
makes sense.
don't get the recovery on the car. Except Ferrari does not care; they print money.
Yeah, that's a different story.
So, if they actually wanted to win championships again at McLaren, they would probably have to do something like that.
Yeah.
But because it's going to be almost impossible then for them to build a car and integrate it with that Mercedes engine and actually be faster than a Mercedes.
True. All right, I know we went long on this, but I think it made sense and I think it was worthwhile. So, but listen,
you brought that Tim Cook energy there.
Yeah,
we went long, I guess.
We went long. But hey, bring out the mariachis. It's the Mexican GP, baby.
It's Moni's home race, sort of.
Let's do it.
Run it, baby. México, Ciudad de México, el Gran Premio de Ciudad de México, Distrito Federal de México. Viva México, cabrón. Vamos, Checo Pérez.
Wow. You went with the cabron. You totally hijacked their culture.
Quick disclaimer.
Jeez.
Moni is not Mexican.
She's Colombian. You can't say cabron. What is going on here?
Guys, I'm so sorry. I really am not Mexican.
You got carried away there.
Oh man, that was awesome. I did see a great.
Guys,
by the way, I did see a great. It's so fun. It's so funny. This is so fitting because I saw a great Disney movie last night. I saw Coco. Have you guys seen Coco?
Ay, divino.
It's a Mexican Disney film.
Yes.
This was great. What a segue to the Mexican GP for me.
It works out. That's what I'm saying.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. No, but in all seriousness, it's a Mexican GP, folks.
Okay, all right, Jack.
No, keep them coming.
Daniels, for your information, this is a sober moment, okay? This is as sober as it gets. Leave me alone. Es el Gran Premio de la Ciudad de México.
El Gran Premio.
So,
listen, by the way, none of us got the predictions right. That's why we didn't even.
By the way, that was so bad. That was my rock bottom.
Not even close. So go ahead, Vince. I'm sorry.
So because it was called El Gran Premio de la Ciudad de Mexico, I titled the show Mexico City GP because that's what it is. But then, the English, they call it the Mexican GP. I'm like,
wrong. No, that was the name before. No longer. Everyone. Mexico City. Everyone's wrong.
Es el Gran Premio de la Ciudad de México.
Yeah, so I translated it into English and called the show that.
No manches. All right, I'm done.
You did well, Bish.
I'm done with my Mexicanisms. This is a Red Bull track, if you ask me.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to go with.
I mean, I didn't have to show the track. Everything's a Red Bull track.
Yeah, but this is a Red Bull track. So if Checo doesn't win this,
are they going to tell Max to move out of the way to get
Red
the whole
Bull should
GP
kick
win?
him
That's
out.
the question.
No, so I feel so bad. Checo was literally he was saying, "Oh, I don't need any favors. If I can win this, I'll just win it. Thank you, Max." He was like, "Don't do me any favors, Max." But low-key, Checo, yo te amo. But you might need a favor or two.
Yeah.
You
know what?
Cool, you know?
Call up Boy George. Tell him to target the other car.
That's what I'm saying.
He'll take it out. He'll take it out for you. Call it a racing incident. Say, I swear I was ahead of him. Whatever his normal excuse is.
You just text Russell and that's it. And we'll be set. And you win your home GP. Ya se acabó.
Yeah. 2 DRS detection zones here. Sector 3 and Sector 2.
2 zones, but three DRS.
3 DRSs. But
yeah, the section zone 2 is for this.
Right.
And this.
That's going to be fun right there, man. Turn 17 to turn 1. That's going to be fun. And then 3 to 4 right before the chicane. That's going to be that chicane there. 4, 5, 6.
That's the part through the stadium, or which part's through the stadium? Or no, that's back here, right? The back half.
I think so. That is fun right there, huh? That's going to be interesting. So the start. Where's the start? Okay, so the start is here. So you've got a straight line at the start.
Are you kidding me? How fun is that?
This
How
is a
fun?
longer. This is a longer straightaway for a start. This is one of the longest ones of the season, right? Because
Yeah.
typically you get into a turn like after, I don't know, after a couple hundred yards. This is pretty interesting. Tire compound. What are we using here on this one? By the way,
So I'll show it, but it's the same. It's the middle three again.
okay, it's a middle feet 3, 2, 3,
Yeah. So a
4.
couple of interesting things here. One is the altitude
Hmm.
sucks
2
out the engine
kilometers.
power, so you're never gonna know how the engines are gonna react.
Okay. This is a
Actually, I
Mexico
read
City.
I
Yeah.
read that is okay. I believe Mexico City is 2 kilometers above sea level. Creo que son los kilómetros.
How
Yeah,
much? How many?
2 kilometers.
2. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
about 6, 7 feet. Okay.
2 kilometers. And I did read that historically Honda engines do well in higher altitudes. So, I mean, I don't want to jinx anything. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself.
So I will say one of the reasons Red Bull has done well on this track in the past is the way the previous generation of the car settled was Red Bull had a better aero package, Mercedes had more power. And when you go to this place, your power drops.
Right.
And so Red Bull's advantage came into play. Now this year, Red Bull's seems to have a power advantage. So we'll see if it reverses a little bit.
Yeah.
And the track is not.
And let's see if
Buenos
Ferrari's engine doesn't blow up.
Let's just call it this way: the track is not very grippy because the surface is not necessarily clean. It's probably the best way to put it. There's dust all over it, so
this is why maybe the tire. By the way, 71 laps. Some of the longest race. One of the longest races. First Grand Prix here was at 63, right? So the circuit length 4.3 kilometers, a little bit shorter than some of the ones we've seen recently. And lap record 1:17.774 by Valtteri Bottas last year. Kind of shows you that this is a little bit of a shorter track. That's interesting. That power of these engines is going to play a big role in not only how fast they go and how good they are, but I think the tire compound is going to be important as well. Is this a 2-stop race? Is this a 3-stop race? I mean, you're talking about a couple big straightaways, not a lot of sharp turns. You've got that chicane, like I said, in corners 4 through 6. Then you've got a little bit of zigging and zagging there slightly, and then you've got another hairpin turn into sector 1 there. So I don't know. This is going to be interesting to see how the tires hold up in a race like this as well, because you are going to have some straight line speed going on.
Yeah, and I was reading the kind of the overview from Pirelli, and they're like, "Yeah, there's not a lot of grip. We don't know,
right?
So it's altitude and not a lot of grip. So I think they're going to use practice to try and figure out, what the optimal strategy is.
Right.
And
you might see the hards, right? The hards play a big role.
I think all 3 compounds could potentially be in play. The other interesting thing is, so they do practice, and then by the time they get to the race, every week they have that like that analysis from Pirelli, and this is the pit window if you're on this strategy, pit window. If you notice, no one's following that. Because the race is not unfolding ever the way they think. It's either pit before it or, the tires are lasting longer than we thought.
Right.
They run long. So it's almost like get into the race and figure it out.
It's every race has been so different than from what, they're saying it's going to be. Because, again, like you mentioned, nobody knows how these tires are going to react. It's a new car, new tires, new everything. So it's really just an assumption of what's going to happen just based off of what they've tested in wind tunnels and another practices and stuff like that. But this is a little bit different. This is going to be interesting to see again how those tires perform. Here's what I love about this. Well, again, actually, I really don't love it anymore, right? FP1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. And then you got FP2 at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. So It's right. It's right in
Guys,
the middle of our workday.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be like super straight up with you. I'm gonna have to catch the race on my phone because
Yeah.
I'm gonna be at the Live tournament on Sunday.
Oh, that's awesome. I was gonna go. I was gonna go on Saturday and Sunday, but
So you best believe I don't care. I'm gonna be standing in front of Brooks Koepka. He's about to drive a 300-yard drive, and I'm gonna be like, "Let's go."
he's gonna go a little further than 300.
Oh, way further. Relax, way.
I hit a 300-yard drive this past weekend.
Ooh.
I know he can.
You just
go
had to work
further
that
than
in, didn't you?
I know.
Yeah,
you mentioned Moni. You mentioned it, right?
No,
I
we're
just
proud
had
of
to.
you. Jess,
I
we're
had,
so
I
proud
had
of
to
you.
blow a little smoke up my own ass there for a second. There,
Which
You're more flexible than I thought, man.
Which brings me to say, you still have to take me out on the course, Jazz. It hasn't happened.
I mean, the passenger side of the cart has your name written on it.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yes, this is proof. Everyone in the world that's watching this right now, because everyone in the world is watching this right now.
Everybody in the world, especially we have a friend in Kenya too. Remember that.
I think he's only on Spaces in that one.
He's only on Spaces.
I think he's Manny's friend. I don't think he likes the rest of us.
Then he's not our friend anymore. You know who I miss? Late Nights with Alex. Where's Alex?
Yeah.
We're too early.
We're too early. You're right.
We should have done the if we had done the Japanese Grand Prix live, I think we would have found out.
We would have had him on. Right. Race time is 4 p.m. on Sunday, which I might be able to catch on my way back, so that'll be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss quali for sure.
Qualifying on Saturday at 4, there's no chance. First of all, Hurricanes football. We say it like that now. Hurricanes football.
Well, I'm gonna be there, so there's no way I'm gonna.
You're gonna be there, so it's gonna be rough. But hey, there's always FSU after that.
Oh yeah, that's 7:30 kick time.
Baby.
That tailgate is going to
it's gonna be bananas.
Hopefully take the pain away of what's about to happen after it. So.
That's gonna be bananas. We digress. We're talking football here. This is an F1 show, everybody. We apologize.
Well, it's their fault for scheduling F1 during our football.
This is true. And then lastly, no, not lastly, but you didn't even put weather. Oh, there's the weather. Yeah. Oh, you put it in a different format, my friends.
Well, I found it on the F1 website. I was too lazy to go look it up myself. So you got the F1 right up on the weather.
I like it. All
We
right.
got the F1 font going on and everything.
Look at that,
because it was literally a screenshot off their website, and I can't even find the link now. So just gonna have to. You just got to read it to us.
Yeah. Thanks. Now you put crap in Celsius, and I have no idea how to.
Oh, this is me at the F1 race where there's like screens with all this random data on. I was like, you can't get me a conversion here.
What's 11 degrees Celsius?
What is 47 degrees? I don't know.
Is that like 75 degrees Fahrenheit or something?
What is it? What?
11 degrees Celsius. What's that?
11 degrees is like
71,
72.
Look at that. I was close. close.
See?
And then 26
We all might be
Celsius.
bilingual in English and Spanish, but Moni is bilingual in metric and imperial. So there you go.
I mean, I kind of know the meters, right? Like every meter is 3 feet, more or less, 3.1 feet. So, hey, or something like that, right? So if you say 3 meters, you're talking about 9 feet, 9 or 10 feet. I'm good with that. 3-meter platform, right? 10-meter platform is about 30 feet. Come on, man. I know my stuff. Don't get it twisted here. All right, that's about as far as it goes. All right, so weather I have no idea. Jack, gotta have alcohol on IV just to look at UM's record. Yeah, we don't even look at it, man. We don't even look at it anymore. Anyways, yeah. So the weather is probably gonna be nice, at least basically. It's gonna be a little warm, which is typical for Mexico. And then you've got 40% chance of rain, which might not really impact depending on when the rain starts. Drivers to watch. Who are you guys taking a look at? Moni, we'll start off with you.
Okay, sorry guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be like super basic. I'm sorry. Like I have to. This is the one weekend where I'm allowed to just.
Okay.
I'm just gonna have to be myself. This is my true self. I'm gonna be watching Checo because obviously it's his home race, and I just want to see if he's going to need a favor or not during the weekend. I just want to see how he's going to perform Friday and Saturday and see if someone is going to have to intervene on Sunday to have the local driver win this race. especially because I didn't see that. I believe we didn't see that much from Checo in Austin. He was kind of like in the shadows. There was not much that special about him last weekend. So
His car was damaged.
well, that too.
I'll make these excuses for him since you didn't.
So I'm definitely going to be watching Checo.
Checo sucks. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Vish, what do you got? Who are you watching, man?
I mean, speaking of not being able to do much last week, I'll go with Sainz.
Hey,
get the conquistador there.
Oh man,
Yeah, for real. I'm getting these colonizing vibes. I don't know what to do about it.
Oh man, we need some Gaudi magic there for him. Oh, poor guy. All right, I'm gonna go with George Russell. No, I'm just kidding. I
can boot you right out of the show, man.
I am just kidding. Yeah, I agree with Vish. I got to see Carlos Sainz again. I think he had, like you mentioned, Vish, he had the opportunity to.
And I guess we didn't really mention he put it on pole.
He did. He put it on pole. He was impressive. He was impressive.
And then,
which is honestly why I feel like it was so painful for him as well.
Oh man, it must have hurt.
The radio was like, he's like, I don't know what happened. They're like, a Mercedes hate you. It's just like, what the hell was that?
You saw what they were talking. You saw Leclerc and Hamilton talking in the back room right after the race, and Hamilton was like, "What happened to Carlos? What happened to Sainz?" And he goes, "Russell hit him." Basically, he just said Russell crashed into him.
It's not even like
Russell took him out, or something. He said Russell took him out.
Wiped him the hell out. That's why Sainz was like, "What the hell was that?" Because normally, like, you get hit at an angle and you kind of see it. He's like, "What the hell happened?"
Straight up,
expect the side impact.
Go for the jugular. Russell took him out. Screw it. That's it. Oh man, what do we got next here? Teams to watch. What are the teams you guys want to watch? We'll go the other way around, Vish.
So I'll go with, either or. So I'll just pick one of them. But the only kind of real battle left is McLaren and Alpine. So I'll go McLaren. Let's see if
go with your team, dude.
Well, but it's really just a driver though, so I don't know if we can call it team to watch.
That's all right.
Danny Rick's in the back with Latifi right now.
Well, he's keeping him company back there. He's saying
that's true. They're coming up with future career plans.
At least he's not wiping people out, right? At least he's not wiping people out. Just himself.
Could he wipe out an Alpine? Do a little favor here. If you can't score, make sure they can't.
I wouldn't mind, right? You got to do something.
You should take out an Alpine. That's the best way you can help the team at this point.
If you're gonna get overlapped, might as well just throw yourself.
You might as well take out one of the Alpines. That way, they're both not scoring.
Just throw yourself on one of them. That's it. I'll go the opposite. I'll go Alpine. What about you, Moni? I'm not gonna go Alpine. I'll go AlphaTauri.
No. Okay, fine. Let me change my mind. I was gonna say Alpine. But
say it.
No, but guys, remember, since I get bullied for everything I say,
bullied.
Honestly, you know what? I'm gonna say Mercedes. I'm gonna ruffle some feathers up in this joint. All right.
But because of Hamilton, right? Not because of.
I'll go. I'll go with half of that team.
That's the man right there. Where the hell is mine? I don't even know where mine is. Oh, mine is here.
Half that team is fine. The other half.
Huh?
What are you getting?
That's Charles. That's Charles. We gotta get Moni one. I gotta get Moni.
It's gotta be Checo.
Yeah, I gotta get you a Checo one, Moni.
Please.
I gotta remember where I ordered it from. I get you one. What do you guys say to the initial rumors of Danny going to Mercedes as a reserve driver and more recent to Red Bull also? Yeah, I've heard a little bit about that recently, about him joining one of those top teams as a reserve driver.
It's the right role for him.
Yeah, it's the best thing he can do. So
because he gets to hang out and do stupid shit like ride a horse around, and then doesn't actually have to drive.
Yeah,
which is probably what he wants to do right now because he can't drive.
Right, and get paid for it.
Get paid, hang out with the circus, but not actually have to do the work.
Hey, doing FP1 here and there.
Like he would even do that. I don't think. Why would he? Why does he need to get mileage in the car?
If George Russell decides he wants to be a dirtbag, then just take his spot there in Mercedes. No, anyways. On a serious note, let's do predictions, baby. Here we go. Vish.
Why don't you go to Moni first? Since all right, I'll be transparent. We're in a safe space. I don't prepare for this show. So it's literally when you ask me, I just make it up.
So do
given
I.
that Moni takes 5 pages of notes, I don't. It's unfair of me to steal her. So go for it,
Dude,
Moni.
I jump in 5 minutes before the damn show starts. You think I know what the hell I'm talking about? Moni, go ahead. Go ahead. You
Okay.
start.
Okay, so I have Sergio Perez, P1.
All right.
You know what? It's gonna be. I don't know. I feel like it might be a fun weekend for Red Bull, so I'm gonna go Max P2. Solid moments, and you know what? I'm gonna redeem myself for my crappy um, prediction, and Carlos is also going to redeem himself, so I'm gonna go Science P3.
Like your style.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Give me your surprise pick. Give me your hot take.
Russell DNF.
Oh, so man, your music to Vicious ears.
I will say he causes a lot of havoc, but somehow finishes the race anyway.
I know.
He's quite annoying in that sense. He takes everyone else out, but he's still going.
Fernando, Jesus Christ.
Yes.
I was trying to figure out who the hell that was. Alonso, obviously. Unbelievable, Jack. Fish, what do you got, man?
So I'll go, the thin air. It's tough under conditioning. Our man Carlos is rested. He only drove like 2 corners last week, or actually 1 corner. So I'll go Sainz to win. And then I'm telling the story here because I'll go Hamilton second.
All right.
Leclerc third, and surprises double Red Bull DNF.
I love it. Oh,
why not?
Oh man.
I'm just going that the Honda engine's gonna explode for some reason.
Man, you are too much, dude. I lost
I mean, at this point,
I lost it as soon as I didn't see a Red Bull in the podium. I lost it.
So, is that going to happen? No. But even when I do a serious prediction, I'm like, I'm going to play it straight. Max won. That's the race he doesn't win.
But
so I might as well have fun with it.
Listen,
I have not gotten a prediction right the entire year, even when I'm trying. So
good Lord, would it be unbelievable if this happens?
I would love, honestly, it would be hilarious if Max accidentally took out Checo and all the Mexican fans turned on him.
Oh my God.
Because he's always the whole crowd's always all
oh man,
Max.
What if Checo's winning and with 1 lap to go, but Max is right behind him and freaking Horner gets on the radio and goes Team Orders.
No, they're not gonna team order this.
Chucha la madre, that would be unbelievable.
They won't team order with this championship over, but
that would
if it was close, they'd tell them to move over.
Oh my gosh, that would be something, bro. That would be something. I'm not gonna be as bold as Vish.
I mean, bold is a euphemism for idiotic, but I'll go with it.
Listen, I tried to downplay it a little bit and give you a little something, but I will go. It's just so hard to not pick a Red Bull here because of how fast I think they can be. So, but in the spirit of my fandom, I'm going to go with Sainz as well as my P1. I'm going to go Max P2, and I'm changing it. I'm going to go Checo P2. And I'm going to go Leclerc P3. And I'm going to say Max DNF.
Huh. Okay.
All right.
Wait, so you get this. So I went with both, and you just took half of my.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
This is why I don't gamble. I don't get good odds.
No, I'm terrible at it too, bro. Shout out to Prize Picks, but I'm terrible at it.
Offer code 5.
All right, offer code
FIVE, the word 5.
FIVE, and don't listen to any of the picks I make. I'm doing horrible. I'm only good at fantasy football, and this year I'm sucking it up. But anyways, all right, that was fun. That was cool. Hopefully, we get to watch a little bit of it, right? Which Honda has drawn on its experience in other industries to optimize its turbo, using ideas from jet turbine design to improve the rate at which air. We're not talking about this complicated crap anymore, Jack. Today, I'm done with it.
So, in case you couldn't tell from the giggling and everyone else making fun of me, The Honda engine's not actually going to blow up. I'm just saying it's going to blow up.
Get it together, Jack. What's the matter with you? Getting all serious with us and crap. Do you not realize what we're doing here on this show?
I mean, that was the surprise pick part of the.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at F1_5 Reasons. We are on every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. on the 5 Reasons Sports YouTube channel. It's Hitting the Apex. You can search Hitting the Apex as well. And make sure that you guys are checking us out during the weekend as well. We might be tweeting out some stuff. Probably Vish will be tweeting out some stuff.
Vish is going to be definitely not for qualifying.
No, not for qualifying. Moni might have to take the reins. Make sure you follow her on Twitter at Moni Lebro. These are all, by the way, these are all of our handles on Twitter as well. At Jan Santana, at VRP2003, and at Moni Lebro. Make sure you check us out there. Follow us on Twitter. Again, the Twitter handle is at F1_5 Reasons. And, of course, you can catch us here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. the 5 Reasons Sports Network for my good friends, Vish.
Well, I guess
Moni.
we should say, if you couldn't tell, there's not going to be a post-race show this weekend.
Yeah, there's not.
So we're like, are we going to watch this thing going? I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Hurricanes at this point. But anyways, we love you guys. Thank you for checking us out, Jack. You're a trooper. And Evan, again, happy wedding anniversary, my friend. God bless you. And have fun. Go scare the crap out of your wife. That'll be awesome. It's Horror Nights. He's at Horror Nights. What's wrong with you, bitch?
I know, but that I still feel like between that and your driving story,
Listen, claim to fame. I worked at a haunted house, and I scared the bejesus out of Gloria Stefan in one. I'm just saying. All right. Anyways,
I feel like I know of better claim to fames you have than that. But,
yeah, you're right. This is true. But hey, it's a Halloween claim to fame. How about that? We'll see you guys next semana. Adios.